Hey guys, welcome back to Tower of Fantasy. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what there is to do in the game once you've completed the campaign and got through all that story. It's a commonly asked question that I see around the place. It's like, is there anything for me to do in the end game, or will I just log in for 3 minutes, do some dailies, and log out? So I'm not here to tell you you should play the game because it's got this stuff. I just want to show you everything there is. Now I'm going to try and speed through it. I will overlay some footage of the content while I talk about it as well, but I just wanted to show you guys everything that there is to do, and you guys can make the decision on whether you think it's enough endgame content to keep you entertained. So we do have both PvE and PvP, and both of them do have a seemingly endless time sink mode that you can go into, but I'll talk about them when I get into them. Like I said, I'm going to try and do this fairly quickly without spending too much time, because otherwise it might get a bit tedious. So let's get into it quickly. So this little menu up the back there that I just clicked, these like crossed swords almost looking thing. This is going to be where you come to find all the stuff to do essentially. So we got weeklies here. Basically, I've never translated these. Keep in mind also that this is the CN version, so some of this stuff might not be in there right at global launch. So, you know, but this is a good projection of what there will be coming in the future. So this one, weeklies, just do stuff, like just literally do shit in the game and you will get these done. I've never translated it and I've always completed it. Next up down here, we have this one. This includes your daily bounties. Now, daily bounties are really easy. You get 4 of them. When you accept them, you look at your map and you will have some purple, if I can find them, purple diamonds like this one that you just go to. It'll be simple things like, you know, kill X amount of enemies. And it's normally like 2 or 3. Super easy, super quick. You get 1 gold nucleus per day and 3 black nucleus per day from those, which isn't too bad. Just get in, get them done. Now, past that, we got this kitchen. I think you get 3 entries into this a day, and she just cooks some shit and then you get experience. It's about as much as I dived into it. Just click it, do it every time. Next up, we have world exploration and ruins. Now, ruins you really want to do, these do actually get hard. Each ruin will have an easy, normal, and hard mode. I haven't gone through and completed them all on this account, but on global, this will be something that I try and do very quick to get all the gadgets and all the upgrades for the gadgets as well. But yeah, these are going to be things you definitely want to come to. You only need to complete them 1 time on easy, then normal, then hard, but they do get progressively harder as you go. Some of them I even struggled on the normal mode when I jumped into them. So keep that in mind. Ruins are something you're really going to want to push through, but once you have completed them all, they're done. Nothing else to do there. World exploration is very similar to them, where you're going to want to explore the world. Now, as you go around exploring the world, you will find chests. As you do those chests, you're going to get basically summons from them, which is fantastic. And you want to go ahead and cumulatively finish these things because you're going to get more summons and more goodies along the way. But that's just world exploration, something to do. But once again, sort of thing that once you're complete, it's not going to have too much replayability for you. So let's jump into the next tab here, which is going to be stamina related content. So we do have stamina. It refreshes 1 every 8 minutes, I believe it is. The cap was lower at launch. This cap will provide you with, like, you know, 2 days worth, I think about 2 days worth of stamina. Hopefully they give us this increased cap on global as well, because it's really nice that, you know, if you don't burn all your stamina in like 1 day because you have a day off, you don't get penalized for it. So I really like this increased cap, so hopefully they leave it. Now, you can purchase stamina. It seems a bit too expensive for me. I'd rather save up for the summons to get all the different characters, but that's because I want to focus on PvP, which we'll talk about in a minute. So with stamina, you have all these modes. Joint operation is probably going to be the main one where you're going to get some gear and some chips from. Now, these are going to be dungeons, 4-man dungeons that you're going to jump into, which have 3 bosses, and each boss that you complete will unlock a chest, which you can spend 30 stamina to open each chest and get some loot. Now, from my experience, I couldn't queue for these when I had less than 30 stamina. However, if I had enough stamina to queue for it, if I just didn't collect any of the chests, I could keep running through them. And at the end, after the final boss, there is 1 green chest, which doesn't cost stamina to open, which I'm assuming you could just endlessly run this. I haven't tried, but, you know, run with friends and help carry them if you're strong. Just as long as you have enough stamina to start it, don't open any of the chests, and then at least you get something from the green chest at the end, even though it is pretty small rewards. But, you know, this one, if you do complete a full run, beat all 3 bosses and loot all of the chests, you will be spending 90 stamina. Next up, we have Dimensional Trial. Now, this one's like a mini dungeon where it queues you with 4 people. And keeping in mind with these dungeons, it does recommend having, you know, like 1 tank, 1 healer, 2 DPS, but it will put you in groups with 4 DPS. Dimensional Trial is absolutely face roll. It's not hard at all. You go in there, you kill a few enemies and you get some upgrade materials for weapons is essentially what you're doing. It's very simple. Interstellar Exploration is another one that you have, which you can see this purple square here that's flashing. You'll get a few of these spawn around the map each day, and you can go ahead and go to them and complete them. And what they're going to do is they're going to have some loot for you, some weapon upgrade materials, and when you jump into them, it's very easy single player combat. I believe if you're in a group, you can enter with a group, but you don't really need to. It's just 3 waves of enemies. Easy, medium, hard wave. Hard wave is still very easy. If you're manually playing, you'll probably never fail these. So just, easy upgrades. You can look at it, and if you're only looking for certain materials for upgrades, you can, filter by, going just only doing the ones that you really need. Say for instance, I'm only really after these, legendaries, I'll call it, with the yellow background. I don't have to do this one if I don't want to. You can spend your stamina elsewhere, just options for you. Now, Omnium Beacons are a really weird one. I translated it. Doesn't make a heap of sense to me. You get like these beacons, like when you consume them, you get in your bag, and I'll show you, you get these beacons, which you can plant in the ground. And then apparently after 24 hours, you can harvest them. So I put one here. I had a purple one. And then you harvest the goodies. I don't quite understand it completely because translations are a bit sketchy for me, but you bury something, you get some goodies. That's essentially what it seems like. And then we have Space-Time Domain, which you're going to get some gold from. I haven't seen a need to do this. I did a couple runs just to check what it was, and it seems to be reruns of the Ruins dungeon. So like that. So I guess it's just a way that they go. You can keep experiencing these ruins, but through here just to get some gold. I haven't seen the need, like I said, to go ahead and do these to get gold, but maybe in the future it might be a thing. So that caps off everything that we have for the stamina-based system and what you can get from doing stamina stuff. So let's jump into the last one. Now, these ones are going to be limited entries and infinite entries, if that makes sense. So first one being ability training. These have a bunch of mini games like wall climbing, flying, some are just battling enemies. There's this one here, which is like a bowling downhill pinball type thing where you try and get the ball into the end and there's all these obstacles. You got different stuff. You got like surfing, flying through stuff. There's mazes, soccer. Mini games. Basically, 2 of the mini games open each day. You can click on them and it'll show you which unit you have to go to. So you have to get over here to go ahead and play in this mini game. It gives you some currency. This currency is going to be able to get you like gifts for your simulacrums to, basically unlock their passives and stuff like that. And it's also going to get you, I think you can also get like gear upgrade, very basic upgrade materials from it. So not the end of the world if you don't want to do these, but if you do, you do get rewarded from them. Next up is Bygone Phantasm. Now this is sort of like what I consider to be the endless time sink for hardcore PvE players. It's an endless tower where you keep climbing floors. It has some pretty good rewards in it, and those rewards are not repeatable. You don't get a reset and go back. It's just an infinite tower. Where you are is where you are. And you will, however, get weekly rewards based on your rank, which means you always want to push for the maximum. So when I say this is something that like real hardcore PvE players will grind, I could definitely see people that love this sort of stuff, spending hours and doing several attempts once they're brick walled at a stage to try and figure out the most efficient strategy, because there is a time limit as well. You want to kill all the enemies in a certain time. And, I can see people strategizing, trying to get through this and then get into the next level. So this one for me is that more of a time sink for hardcore PvE players. Next up is going to be Frontier Clash. Now, Frontier Clash is like you're in 4-man groups, 3 waves of enemies. No, not 3 waves. It's a bunch of waves of enemies, and you got a time limit, and you can get up to 5 chests by beating certain amounts of waves. And then in those chests, you can get some gear and stuff like that. It's just a bit of group content. Keep killing the enemies as you come, and you'll be pretty good. Then we have Void Rift. Void Rift is an interesting one. It's sort of like a co-op mode where you go in with 3 other players. You find these keys around the zone. You can get certain buffs by the looks of it. I didn't translate it too much. But then, once you've got a certain amount of keys, you can teleport to the boss, battle the boss, defeat the boss. You're going to get some chips. chips, and you're also going to get some tokens to buy chips from the store. Now, these two, when I translate the Chinese version, it does say that you are going to get a fresh attempt for these every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So these aren't going to give you too much time of entertainment. You're going to do them once every couple of days, and that's what you're going to get out of them. So they are what they are essentially. Wormhole is an interesting one. It's like a progressive thing where you got to complete the previous stage and meet a certain level requirement to go on into the next stage. From playing through it a little bit, it seems like you've got to kill a certain amount of enemies within a certain time to fill up a gauge to be able to clear it and get the rewards and stuff like that. So that is that one. Moving on from that, we do have raids. Now, I have not gotten into raids myself yet, basically because this is the easiest one and it recommends having a 52,800 gear score. I have about 18,000. I don't want to be that scumbag jumping in, getting carried in raids and making it wipe. So I haven't jumped in, but we're going to have 3 different raid bosses that you can do. You're going to get these rewards, which these tokens, you're going to be able to buy certain specific pieces of gear. And you're also going to get these pieces of gear drop. Now, the cool thing about these is you can't get these, at least that I've seen, from anywhere else in the game. So you're really going to want to do the raids to fill in this gear slot to be able to increase the power of your character, which is really cool. So, you know, we got the 3 of them there. And they get harder. So this one's got a 58, this one's got a 52, and this one's got a this one's easier, 48. Maybe I can sneak in there one day. But yeah, I just don't want to get carried. But you know, raid bosses, really looking forward to raids at Global, you know, with guilds and stuff like that. Then past the raids, we have the PvP. Now we got the Apex League, which is 1v1 PvP. When you first jump into this, it may seem like a spam fest, which it definitely does feel like. Once you start to learning how different characters play and different weapons play, there is a lot more strategy and a lot more skill involved in it, and I really do enjoy the PvP. At the moment on the CN server, I get about 300 to 400 ping, which really is hard to play in. So I'm really looking forward to Global, hopefully having a server near Australia where I can actually play PvP properly. This one, you do get some black cubes for rewards. It's not, I don't think it's enough that makes you have to do PvP if you don't want to. The other thing with PvP is it is balanced. So as long as you have the character, it is pay to win in the sense that you need to get the character that you want to use. Once you've got them, when you go into that battle, all characters get ranked up to 6-star and you get all those effects. So you just need to have the character to be able to use it, which I really like these systems. So a whale who's infinitely spended, got all their chips maxed out, all their gear maxed out. They got, you know, gear score of 100,000. They can't just clap you because of that gear score and what they've spent on that. What they can clap you with their spending is having the new character when it comes out, but you know, at least there's some sort of balance in PvP. And then we have Break Fate, which this probably, I'm almost sure this won't be in there at Global, but this is going to be a Battle Royale mode, which we'll get in the future at Global, hopefully. Now, I suck at Battle Royales, so, you know, I'm not very good at it, but it is one of those ones where you start off with your bare hands, you open chests, you get different weapons, you defeat people, you loot their stuff, get the weapons, you get the gadgets, all that sort of stuff. So it's like a genuine, it's a genuine Battle Royale, which is cool, but I'm sort of trying to learn Battle Royales while learning this game. And, you know, one thing at a time, baby steps. I never got on board the Battle Royale thing. I'm sorry. It just never grasped me. I prefer, like, I was a big WoW player. I like 3v3. So I'm hoping they introduce 3v3 one day into the game. So that is it from the tab. The one last thing that you're going to look at that you can do in the end game, once you finish the campaign, it's going to be side quests. You'll have these blue quests around these blue dots around the place. They're going to be side quests. Through side quests, you can unlock different mounts. You can get upgrades. You can get different sort of stuff for your gadgets and all that sort of stuff. So side quests will definitely be something. I haven't bothered looking into them on the CN version. Sort of thing where you need to read some of them. So I'm just going to wait for Global when I can actually read it and not have to translate every page. But that pretty much sums up what there is to do at the end game of Tower of Fantasy. For me, I feel like there's quite a bit. For PvE only players who hate PvP, there's a little bit less. For PvP players like myself who will enjoy that, you basically have endless endgame if you want to keep playing PvP. PvE, like I said, the tower is infinite and you can keep pushing at that if you're hardcore in that. Otherwise, you know, there's still a fair bit that unlocks, you know, at regular intervals to keep you entertained. But you just take that knowledge, let me know. Is this enough endgame for you guys to be interested in Tower of Fantasy or not? Either way, I'm going to have a bit of fun. But thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.